Were ancient sites built by aliens? The mystery of pyramids, Nazca Lines and lost civilizations has puzzled us for ages. For centuries, humanity has gazed at some of the world's most impressive monuments and asked a simple but, provocative question. Were these works of human genius, or was there help from beyond the stars? The idea that aliens might have visited Earth in ancient times has captured imaginations from science fiction enthusiasts to television producers, to just ordinary people who are curious about how civilizations thousands of years ago created structures that still astonish modern engineers. When we look at the Egyptian pyramids or the Nazca Lines in Peru or the massive stone statues of Easter Island, we can totally understand why some people find it hard to believe that such accomplishments were possible with the tools and knowledge available at the time. Take the Egyptian pyramids, for example. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built more than 4,500 years ago, remains one of the largest and most precisely constructed buildings in history. Millions of limestone blocks, some weighing several tons, were transported from quarries and stacked into a structure 146 meters tall, perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions and oriented with an accuracy that, even today, seems astonishing. Some proponents of the ancient astronaut theory argue that this level of precision could not have been achieved without advanced technology. They point to the scale, the weight of the stones, and the astronomical alignments as evidence that something more than human ingenuity was at work. Perhaps extraterrestrial visitors shared their knowledge or lent their machines to help lift and place the stones in perfect order. Yet historians and archaeologists provide different answers. They remind us that Egyptian society was not a collection of primitive farmers, but a highly organized civilization with access to thousands of skilled laborers, trained architects, and generations of accumulated knowledge about stone building techniques. Ramp systems, levers and pulleys could explain much of the pyramid construction process, and careful observation of the stars by Egyptian priests and astronomers accounts for the alignments that look so mysterious to us today. Still, for those who are fascinated by mysteries, the sense remains that the pyramids are almost too perfect to be the product of human effort alone. The same debate surrounds the Nazca Lines, etched into the desert of southern Peru more than 1,500 years ago. These enormous geoglyphs depict animals, plants, and geometric shapes, some of them stretching for hundreds of meters across the barren ground. From the surface, they look like random scratches, but from the sky, they form perfect images, visible only when viewed from high above. This has led to speculation that they were created either for the eyes of gods in the sky, or perhaps for alien spacecraft to see. Proponents of the extraterrestrial theory argue that no culture without flight could have designed images so vast and so precise without the ability to view them from the air. However, archaeologists studying the Nazca culture argue that the people could have plotted the figures from the ground using rope stakes and careful geometric planning. They also suggest that the lines may have served ritual or religious purposes, perhaps as pathways for processions, or as offerings to deities who were believed to control water and fertility. The desert climate preserved the lines for centuries, giving us the impression of something otherworldly, but, still rooted in very human cultural practices. Still, the idea that they might be ancient landing strips for spacecraft continues to appear in popular books and documentaries. Easter Island, in the Pacific Ocean, adds another layer to the mystery with its famous Moai statues, towering stone heads, carved and transported across the island by Polynesian settlers centuries ago. The largest statues weigh more than 70 tons, and some were moved several kilometers from quarries to coastal sites. Alien theorists suggest that moving such immense stones would have required advanced technology beyond the capability of the islanders. Others argue that the sheer isolation of Easter Island makes it a likely candidate for extraterrestrial contact. Yet again, archaeologists present a more grounded explanation. Experiments have shown that with wooden sleds, ropes and teamwork, groups of people could have rocked the statues from side to side and walked them to their destinations. The feat would have been difficult, but not impossible. Still, the sheer scale of the achievement continues to spark curiosity about whether something more than human effort was at play. When we look at these examples, and others, such as Stonehenge in England, or the precision-cut stones of Pumapunku in Bolivia, we see a common theme. People are drawn to mysteries. When they encounter feats of engineering that seem beyond the imagination of ancient societies, it is natural to wonder whether outside forces had a role. Aliens, in this sense, represent a convenient explanation for the unexplained, but they also represent our own fascination with the unknown, our desire to believe that we are part of a larger universe, filled with intelligent beings who might have visited us in the distant past. At the same time, it is important to remember that attributing these achievements to aliens can sometimes, diminish the real accomplishments of ancient cultures. Civilizations like the Egyptians, the Nazca, the Rapa Nui of Easter Island, and the builders of Stonehenge developed knowledge passed down over generations. They tested techniques, built on experience, and worked with determination to shape their environment into forms that expressed both practical needs and spiritual beliefs. They did not need alien machines because they had human creativity, discipline, and social organization. What looks like mystery to us may have been part of everyday practice for them. Still, the idea of alien influence just isn't going away. Television shows like Ancient Aliens, books by authors such as Eric von Daniken, and, countless online discussions really keep this theory alive. These stories are popular because they connect human history to, cosmic possibilities. They suggest that humanity might not have been alone, and that the stars have always been watching, or even guiding us. And for many people, this idea is both thrilling and inspiring, because it expands the scope of our story from one planet to, honestly, the whole universe. Ultimately, whether you believe in ancient aliens or not, the mystery of these sites remains powerful. The pyramids still rise out of the desert with silent majesty. The Nazca Lines still stretch across the Peruvian plain, visible best from the air. And the Moai still stand guard over Easter Island, staring out toward the horizon. Even with modern science, we do not have all the answers. And perhaps that is why these monuments continue to fascinate us. They are reminders of human ingenuity, but also of the limits of our knowledge and the endless room for wonder in the stories we tell about our past. In teaching about these topics, it is useful to remind ourselves and our students that history is built on evidence, but that imagination also plays a role. We study artifacts, measure stones, and analyze ancient tools, but we also ask questions. What if? What if aliens did come to Earth? What if humanity was inspired or taught by beings from beyond the stars? Even if the evidence is thin, the questions push us to think about the nature of civilization, about the possibilities of intelligence elsewhere in the universe, and about how humans themselves are capable of greatness. So were these ancient sites built by aliens or by humans? The honest answer is that mainstream scholarship overwhelmingly credits humans, while alternative thinkers propose extraterrestrial help. The truth may be less dramatic, but, no less inspiring. It shows us that ordinary people, thousands of years ago, working together with patience, vision, and determination, could accomplish wonders that still take our breath away today. Yet the mystery remains alive, because we are a species that thrives on curiosity. We want to believe that there is more to our story than what we see, and perhaps that desire itself is what truly connects us to the stars.